This all feels a bit strange.
Really strange.
You're strange.
Don't really know what I'm doing.
No, I feel really out of practice. At these levels, I feel like we're a bit hot on the microphones. Give me some proper chat. Like, hello, how are you?
Well, I've got a bit of a sore throat.
I know.
So,
I mean,
it's not sore, but...
Worst timing ever.
Yeah.
I actually also am a little bit bunged up.
Are you really?
Yeah. Guys, we're back from our summer break and we're ruined.
And we're really ill.
I want to try a new intro. I think we're going to have to do it again in a few weeks because we're both so sick.
Or today.
But we'll give it a go.
Right.
So I guess like before...
Oh dear.
Just roll with it. I guess
I don't really remember what.
But just let's see what happens.
All right.
Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast. I'm Sam from Seen Through Glass.
I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
No. Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast. I'm Sam from Seen Through Glass.
And I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
And each week you can listen to us talk about cars,
all cars, mate.
Just cars on Spotify, Apple Podcast, really most podcast players. You can also watch us on YouTube. Subscribe now, turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. Is there anything else we want to ask these lovely people to do, Tony?
Yeah, give us some money.
Give us some money. Send us money at tonyandsam@gmail.com. Or give us a 5-star review on any of those platforms we just mentioned. Anyway, we hope you enjoy the episode. We're back.
We are.
We are back.
But we're not well.
I don't think you've ever been well, mate.
No, fair enough.
So, yeah, I mean, this is our big return. Series 6, here we are.
Oh, is it?
Wow, yeah,
Hello.
launching a new season after a 4-week break.
I know, amazing.
If for some reason you're a new listener to this podcast or a new viewer, hello YouTube viewers, we have just returned from our summer break. And embarrassingly, we've come back in worse shape than when we left.
Yeah, it's supposed to go holiday and have a rest, but actually I need another holiday to get over the holiday I've had.
Tony's sick. I am recovering from sickness. I think it's kind of like a post-summer cold. Everyone's going to shout COVID. We're fairly certain it's not COVID. We've had COVID, both of us. This does not feel like COVID.
No.
Just a little bit sick. Just a little. We overdid it in our holidays.
Yeah, I'm not. Like, I actually feel all right. I just got a bit of a croaky voice. I had a little bit of a headache at the start of the weekend. It's now Tuesday. Mm-hmm. It's now Tuesday. It's the other end of the weekend. But yeah, mate, it's when I get on a plane and stuff, you know?
Yeah, that weird air conditioning.
Yeah, and you know what else does me as well? You know when you're in a hotel room and it's boiling hot in Europe, you've got the aircon on all the while. I think that gives you a bit of a sore throat and dries you out, doesn't it? So
100%. Apparently you're not supposed to have aircon on overnight.
Oh.
You'd leave it on overnight. Apparently it's very dangerous.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know this. Apparently it's very dangerous. You're supposed to always turn air conditioning off when you go to sleep.
But hold on a minute, then you'd be boiling in the middle of the night.
At least you wouldn't be dead.
Well, I'm still here. I've done it all the while.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe an old wives' tale this, but someone told me one time it's very dangerous. Anyway, well, long story short, yes, we're here and we're sick, which isn't ideal because we were supposed to be launching season 6 with a whole new intro, a refreshed intro, because if you've been watching this podcast for a while, you'll know that our intro is a bit out of date. It was filmed at my old studio a couple of years ago now. We looked a bit weird in it. The cars behind me
were old rotters, the old cars behind them, they were rotting.
Oh, God, they were rotten. The whole studio looked rotten.
Yeah.
So we were like, we'll come back. We'll just start with a whole new intro. And then we both walked in this morning. We're like, yeah. So you might have to stay tuned. I think new intro coming soon-ish. But this is the new studio. New and improved, finally.
Yeah.
There's still some work to be done. Again, I keep referencing the YouTube viewers, but actually, let's be honest, it's our biggest audience these days. New viewers, just to clarify, we are clueless. This is an automotive podcast, but it's done by 2 really uninformed enthusiasts.
No! Speak for yourself.
No, definitely Tony, who will be way too over-opinionated and say stupid things that no one really believes or understands. And I will 100% mess things up and get things wrong as well. So that's just it, just giving you a prior warning. But But we have a great time.
But we
don't
hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, we enjoy it. And we enjoy doing it in this new studio. So this is our new base, at least for
It's quite nice.
the foreseeable
there's your
future.
old car.
Yeah, there's a big picture, a nice bit of artwork of my 911 Carrera T during Drive the World.
Yeah,
and
very
various other
nice.
bits. We will be adding to this, but it's a good setup for now. And you know what? I'm just happy to be here. Even though we are a bit sick, it's good to be back, mate.
Well, we got more comfortable chairs at least.
We got more comfortable
nice.
chairs. I don't want to say I missed you, but I missed doing these podcasts.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah.
And interacting with the audience is always fun each week. We have a nice little chat.
You did miss me, mate. Don't tell lies. You would have won 100%. After about 4 days, you get like withdrawal symptoms.
Speak for yourself. Sending me links to autocar articles. Oh, I wish we could talk about this.
No idea.
Well, look, in the episodes ahead, we've got a lot to catch up on because not only was our holiday, well, pointless because we come back, more run down than before we left. It was also the worst timed holiday ever because the automotive world went insane whilst
mad,
we were
didn't
away.
it? Yeah.
We've had like 35 new car launches and like proper serious new car
Yeah.
launches. We've had huge developments in F1, in the EV industry. We've had manufacturers starting to talk about being publicly listed. I mean, there's so much to discuss.
Yeah.
As well as what we actually did in our time off.
Yeah.
But today, I think we've got to kick things off with, as I say, those new cars.
Right.
Because genuinely, almost immediately after we stopped recording, there was Car Week in Monterey, and it felt like every big new car launched there.
Well, there was one really big car that didn't launch there.
Oh.
Ah.
Are we talking about the Purosangue?
The FUV.
Have you figured out how to pronounce it yet?
No idea. No.
Purosangue, Purosangue. Because the Italians will have some flair to it that we won't be able to achieve.
No idea, mate.
No idea.
It's,
Okay.
it's the Ferrari SUV as far as I'm concerned. And people say it's not an SUV, it's an FUV. Ferrari won't like you calling it an SUV. It's an SUV.
It really
That's
is.
the end of it.
It really is.
Yeah.
But Ferrari are determined for it to be a Ferrari utility vehicle.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a sports utility
Yeah,
vehicle.
yeah.
Well, yes, of course, we're going to come back to talking about that because chronologically, it was one of the last cars to launch in the list of cars that I've got written down. And there's one which I think I guess you'd be far more excited to talk about. The new 3RS finally unveiled.
Yeah. Well, we knew it was coming, didn't we? I mean,
But we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We didn't know the extent to which Porsche had taken it, I don't think. Now, I'm assuming you're a bit more read up about this car than I am. I was in Indonesia when the car launched, not looking at my phone a whole lot, I got to be
don't have
honest.
tellies there.
Well, of course, they have internet and TVs and things, but I was on holiday. I was like, I'll read about it when I get back, and then I got back and I forgot. So
It's too late.
too late. All I know, and I say I want you to sort of, run away with this because it's kind of one of your dream cars, is to me, it looked as extreme as we were expecting based on spy shots. The thing that baffled me were the 4 dials on the steering wheel that seemed to be able to adjust a million things at the switch of a button, which just seems unnecessary. And the kind of, I guess, push towards active or adjustable aero?
Both.
But okay,
Active and adjustable, yeah.
Okay, so go on, tell me your thoughts. When it was finally unveiled, what did you think?
Well, first of all, it's not my dream car, mate. I think that car is overcomplicated now for the road.
Interesting.
I think they've gone too far with it, if I'm honest. Would I have one? Of course. Mainly because I don't drive my cars in this country anymore. And on a nice road in Europe, it would still be all right. But I think in general terms, that car will be unbearable. In the fact that it's gone too far the other way. They really have chased lap times and race car setup like the videos that I watched and the stuff that I read. It is like literally basically a cup car with number plates. I mean, that's too far for 80% of the people that are going to buy them cars, for sure. Because, all right, listen, maybe not in Europe so much, or Germany in particular, because they buy them cars to take them straight to the Nürburgring. Fine, no problem. And there's be some UK billies that will do exactly the same thing. But in general, people that buy them cars won't do a huge amount of miles in them. It will be, I mean, the last car, I mean, the GT3 even that you've got coming, it's quite firm on the road, and the last 3RS was firm enough, and I used to hate driving it in the UK.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I used to done so many track days in it and drove it in Europe. And actually, I didn't really like driving it in Europe that much, because on big windy roads and hairpins and stuff, yeah, it's okay going in, but coming out when you're going up a big Alp, it's got no power. And
it's a car for high speed cornering?
It's a momentum car.
Okay.
So, like a lot of NA cars are, you've got to keep them up in the revs, you've got to keep them going. And as soon as you come to a stop or low speed, you've got to get that engine revving again. And it's why, in general, now I like turbocharged cars to the road, because they'll just punt you out of a corner, or not so much on track because you're keeping an average speed. And that's why Nürburgring times are always like marred, because it's an average speed track. It's a momentum track. You keep a high speed up. And on most other tracks, the times are not relevant, because a lot of tracks have really slow speeds, and they've got to get back up to speed again. So I obviously I'd have one, and I'd use it as intended. I'd use it on track. I'd use it in Europe. I'm not sure I'd really... I think it's too much. It hasn't got a boot anymore. It's not practical as it was. I think it's too fussy. It's far too technical for most human beings. If you're a proper race driver, or you know what you're doing, then buttons are great. I'm going to set this. But actually, most people won't even know how to set them. I mean, you're just going to listen to some bloke that thinks he knows. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So a racing driver gets straight in, he knows exactly what to do, and with the power transfer, and you want that wheel braking, and you want the diff tightened up because you want the car to pull you round more. So I'm just going to turn the settings. But most people won't have a clue. And by the way, you won't be going fast enough on the road. So I think it's a bit pointless, mate, if I'm honest.
I'm surprised to hear you say it, but I'm quite relieved that you are saying it. Because the reason I said your dream car, because obviously the previous generation was one of your favourite cars. You enjoyed that so much. You've spoken about it so many times on this podcast. A car that you absolutely loved, and we actually took off into Ireland and did a bit of a road trip in. I also really enjoyed. I've never really been an RS enthusiast, because I don't do many track days. Yeah, I love road car driving. Yeah, road driving in cars. And so for me, the standard GT3 was always enough. The RS was just a bit too track focused. And then when this new car launched, I was like, oh my god! And you're right with what you say about most people. I'm sure people will have to figure out what those switches do, and I'm sure in your handover, the Porsche salesman is going to tell you, I just do the. But what it's going to lead to is, what differential setting did you have going up Col de Torini? Oh, yeah. Did you have your DRS active during... And probably lead to a whole load of crashes, but also a load of really boring conversations. It's going to be like that Bravado, there's this sort of... It was the PTS thing. Oh, I've got a paint to sample GT3. There's like, oh, I've got the highest mileage GT3. And now it's going to be like, oh, I only drive my 3RS in... blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what the options are or the settings can be. Yeah,
it's basically diff and suspension that you can adjust. You haven't got to lay underneath the car, and it's all electronic now. It's obviously you can back your traction control off like the AMG GTR and the Black Series. You can do that as well now. Again, that's in the race cars, in most race cars. And I think there's a braking one as well. I'm not 100% sure, but there's 4 on there. There might be a braking one as well. So again, that's on a race car as well, because you want sometimes the ABS comes in early, sometimes you want it in later. It depends on what's what. But really, that's for a racing driver, mate, because most people won't get to that capabilities.
It's definitely, for me, separated the standard GT3 and the RS more than ever before. Like, it's made that RS way more extreme, I think, than the standard GT3. Even if the standard GT3 is more extreme than any of the previous variants.
Yeah, and I think actually the sweet spot for, in all seriousness, without messing around, the sweet spot for GT3s now is the 991.2 for the road. Because it's not anywhere near as good as the car you're getting for sure, and it hasn't got the wishbone suspension, and it won't be set up as well. But actually, for the road, you don't actually need all that. Like, as we've said it before, how fast can you actually go on the road? You know,
according to you, quite fast.
Well, some would say, yeah. Some would say I'm terrible. But me going away these last couple of weeks with all different cars, I wouldn't have gone any faster in my car as I would in any other car. Similar, you know, like, okay, I might have had a little splurt down a straight on a sprint, and it might have been a second faster or half a second faster, but then in 3 minutes you catch the car back up because it slows back down or sits in traffic again or goes for a village or...
Of course. I mean, it's a running theme of this podcast is, you know, have cars gone too far? And funny enough, it's something that, you know, I was looking at some pieces previously when I went to film a few weeks ago with sorry, I'm completely mind blank, with a Ferrari 430, and some initial reviews of that all those years ago were journalists saying, oh, have we gone too far? Has the world gone crazy? Have Ferrari pushed it too far? We don't need all this power.
But that is a pile of shit, that car.
But now we look back at it and it seems like an ultimate modern classic, you know, circa 500 horsepower and things like that. So, yeah, it's easy to sit here and complain, but I would agree that 3RS seems really overcomplicated. Yeah. Surprising from Porsche. It's obviously we've got a Huracan STO, similar kind of makeup. AMG GT Black Series, but I guess a little bit more practicality.
No, I think that's better. I think the Black Series is better than both of them in terms of for the road.
You're probably right. Yeah. But, you know, they're not the first to go this extreme, but, you know, Porsche tends to be a little bit more sensible about the way they go about things. This is literally a cup car with plates stuck on, which they must have worked out people want. They must have, because Porsche don't make, you know, haphazard decisions.
They don't, no. And as well, they do make cars for their customers. And for a lot of the people that are going to use them as intended, it will be okay. But there will also be a lot of people that won't even know what the buttons do. Mm-hmm. And I saw a quote or heard something in one of the videos about it creating as much downforce as a full-on cup car at 140 or 150 mile an hour. I mean, you can't do that on the road anyway, but you can on track. I mean, that is unbelievable.
Outrageous.
For a road car to create that sort of downforce. I mean, it's very similar to Senna downforce, and we was it 800 kilos or something?
I mean, that seems to be the number.
Don't quote me, but it's around, I mean, it's an unbelievable amount of downforce.
Well, really, hopefully we will get the chance to get behind the wheel of it when they start coming out and about. And it'll be intriguing to see, but I think Porsche would probably be quick to say, well, look, it's not a road car. You know, I think that, I'm sure all the launch...
They've already said it.
Yeah, all the launch materials, everything, like, it's all going to happen on a track, and they're going to say, like, you know, you can't really test this car on the road because that's not what it's for.
That's not what it's for, yeah.
You know, fair play, I guess, in that sense, and let's wait and see, but yes, my immediate reaction was...
It'll be interesting to see what the market does and what they actually achieve. I mean, we all know they're going to be stupid money over list. I've already had conversations with people branding numbers of what they're going to be over and whatnot, but it'd be interesting to see, because if you look at the STO as a car and the GT3 RS, although I don't think they compete them cars, if it's a similar kind of car, the STO is a bit of a flop, mate. Mm-hmm. You know, they're Look, you've driven one. I mean,
yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. No, I really enjoyed it. But if you look at the used market, yeah, they've been trading actually under their retail value. Yeah. In comparison to some other, you know, previous examples from Lambo or other marques that have traded over. So, yeah, the 3RS is going to be super interesting. It's probably not going to be that far away. So let's hold our breath. But let us know in the comments below, what were your thoughts when the covers finally came off the 3RS and we saw it in its full glory and found out about all these details? Were you like, oh, I want one? Or were you thinking, it seems to be a little bit too extreme?
Because it's a Porsche as well, and because of the brand value, and much the same as Ferrari as well, even if people don't want one and they're offered one, they're still going to have one. They'll just sell it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You would be mad not to just go, oh, actually, that's not for me, it's too hard, because they'll give it to someone else and they'll flip it anyway. So, yeah.
Just get a Sport Classic instead.
I mean,
what a car!
Yeah, no, thank you.
Anyway, well, let's move on, because I say we've got a lot of cars to work through, and from one car that seems a little pointless to maybe another. What were your thoughts on the Lamborghini Urus Performante?
Willy waving.
Yeah, I mean,
an absolute complete waste of time and money.
Yes. I don't see the point in it. I mean, I have long said I'm not really a fan of these super quick SUVs.
That's my favourite.
And the Urus was already the most extreme.
Yeah.
And oh my God, they sell by the bucket load. I see them absolutely everywhere. It doesn't matter where I am in the world, I seem to find a Urus somewhere.
Yeah.
They are so popular.
Yeah.
And they are very much the Lambo of the SUV world. They're all about presence and status and everything. And incredible
It's a
drive.
proper car as well, mate. I know I know you're not keen on them, but it is a proper bit of kit. It literally drives like a supercar on jacked up. It's
But
a proper
how
bit of
many
kit.
Urus owners are driving them like supercars? Because
No, probably
every time
not
I
that
see
many.
them, they're in the city.
Yeah.
And so,
Statement car, isn't it?
why do you need the Performante?
Exactly, mate. No. And as well, like, I mean, is it another 30 or 40 horsepower or something? It's got a bit more carbon. It's a little bit lighter.
Looks a bit Mansory-esque.
It's already 2.5 ton. What does it matter if it's 80 kilos or 100 kilos? Like, it's too heavy. And what if something's 610 horsepower? Why do you care if it's 650 in a 2.5 ton car? If it's a 1.2 ton car, 1.3 ton car, yeah, I get it, because that's its purpose. But it's probably another 40 or 50 grand in terms of money. Basically, what it is, everyone, it's Lamborghini thinking, how can we reinvent the Urus? Basically.
Well, do you think this is a result of the Urus being as popular as it was, or do you think Lambo always had this plan?
They would have had it planned, and they probably brung it in later than what they expected, because it's done so well as a car. They probably thought, well, we're going to do this after 2 years, because look what they do with the Hurricane, with the Performante. You know what I mean? It's normally a couple of years, but it's been 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. But it's flew that Urus.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, but they will have data and have analysis that sales worldwide would be falling away, and as it falls away, they then go, right, we better do something about this, because the sales need to keep going. So that's probably what's happened. Sales have started to fall away. Oh, we bring that Performante thing out now.
Do you want to know the actual stats? Because some of the figures you were just flailing around are wildly off.
Are they? Are they really?
So the weight saving, 47 kilos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
When I say 100.
it's like half of me.
Yeah.
Like that's pointless.
Yeah.
Secondly, it gains 15 horsepower.
Oh, 15.
1.5.
Yeah.
So it rises a little bit lower, which sounds uncomfortable, and it's a little bit wider.
Yeah.
And you get carbon fiber wheel arches that house bigger, lighter wheels. And it
Diffusers
increases the downforce, because that's really important. So, I mean,
It's got a little wing on it, that's why.
it's got a really horrible little wing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all marketing. And look, people will not fall for it.
Is it another 40 or 50 grand?
No, it's, well, you tell me, it's 170 grand list.
Plus
I don't know what the
options.
old car was, yeah. I don't know what the old car
No,
was.
it's not 40 or 50 then. But
it's, as you say, it's a way to reinvigorate the sales, because if
Yeah.
you've had a Urus from new, maybe you think, oh, cool, let's go get Performante, because absolutely there's a huge Urus customer base that it is about stunting, I guess, or about showing off, about, the road presence, and you want the latest and the greatest. So even though it's probably rather pointless in terms of what you're actually gaining, it's going to look better. It's the newer, it's the updated version, it's the best one. So you're going to go and buy it, aren't you?
yeah, most people will, yeah.
Mad. Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled for those on Sloane Street in the months ahead. Now, I got very excited by the launch of the last W16 Bugatti,
Oh, I saw that.
the Mistral.
Oddly, I didn't get excited.
Really? You don't think it's a good looking car?
Oh, I'm not interested.
No, but aside from that, because we often disagree on
We're
Bugatti. We often disagree
we
on
go.
Bugatti. I obviously am a huge fan, adore the cars, am baffled by the engineering, just love what the brand represents.
Because you were seduced by the factory.
Absolutely seduced.
Yeah.
I was given great croissants, lovely coffee and everything, but you haven't had that experience, so when were you invited to the Bugatti factory?
How many Ferraris you own?
I didn't have to pay any money to go and drive a Bugatti, so but no, I'm so into it, and I'm also semi-excited by their new era, because I think Mate Rimac is kind of a genius. Had the opportunity to meet him a few years ago. Really cool guy, and so I'm excited to see what Bugatti will become. And this is a last hurrah, and I think from a design point of view, it's a stunning car, personally.
Yeah.
And from that point of view, the fact that you can... what I couldn't work out, is it like a Barchetto? Is it roof off only. I don't think it's even got a bolt-on roof, does it?
I paid.
I think it's a full roadster.
It had a microsecond of my attention. Mate. I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
Not really. In general, I don't really. It's different for you because you have to be interested in it because it's your job as well. But unless I can afford to buy something, it doesn't really interest me. I'd be fuming. Yeah.
It's a new Bugatti, mate. Like, that's pretty amazing.
And they're very good and they're very cool and I really respect them. But actually, I couldn't afford one, firstly. But even if I could, I don't know if I'd buy one.
Oh, I would in a heartbeat.
I know you would.
I don't know if I would buy this one because, like, we live in the UK. Like, and this is like, ultimate stunting. Did you see Shmi went on that event with the Lamborghini Noir?
No.
Actually, TFJ Freddie bloody drove the thing. I saw him the other day. I meant to ask him about that. Yeah, it's the most expensive new car and Bugatti ever made, blah, blah, blah. And that's a bit like, well, it is just and it's not a shoe. And I think, is it a Super Sport or is the Centenaire underneath? I get confused. But long story short, there's nothing revolutionary apart from the way this car looks. The fact it's got no roof. And I think the shoe one's maybe a little bit better looking in my opinion. This one is 5 million euros. So it is quite expensive.
Just telephone numbers.
But it's, I don't know. I say I like the brand. And from the Veyron on, I've always been excited by what Bugatti have done, even if it's a bit out there. They've got that Bolide thing coming at some point, don't they? That Gran Turismo track only kind of crazy thing.
Yeah, a good friend of mine had one, and I absolutely appreciate them. And they're an engineering masterpiece for sure. And I get all that, but they just don't really do it for me, mate. I just
Okay. Well, I'm a fan.
It's just a big Golf, isn't it?
As I say, I would like to understand if it has a roof that you can put on.
You didn't buy it tonight.
So, sorry?
I just said it's just a big Golf.
Yeah, no.
Did you hear it?
I actually didn't. And I'm going to move on. Because I knew you said it just to wind me up. But yeah, so let me know, those of you who are well-read or maybe Bugatti employees, can you put a roof on the Mistral or is it literally a complete roadster?
Yeah.
Now, from one insane hypercar that you don't care about to another.
Oh, really?
And to be fair, I only cared about this because I filmed a video just before we took off on our break, before I went off on my holidays. I filmed the last ever manual Koenigsegg.
Right. Can we talk about Bugattis again?
Bear with me. So I filmed this video now, and I actually really enjoyed the experience because Koenigsegg have always just gone over my head a little bit. They've annoyed me slightly.
Well, you've said several times you don't like them.
I don't like them.
It's poor man's Ferrari, you say?
Well, no, I said I thought it was the people who couldn't get invited to buy LAFs 918s. So they go and find another brand that they can say, oh, but look at me, I've got a Koenigsegg.
So you've changed your mind?
No, I'm saying the same thing. It's the way they are represented online,
right.
The way that they seem to be more about illustrating wealth and social status than actually a car to be celebrated.
So is it a chav's car, but a few quid?
Not a chav's car. It's, as I say, it's like I'm buying it to show you how wealthy I am rather than I'm buying it to go and drive. That's the impression I got. It could be wrong because I have met Koenigsegg owners and they tend to be super nice and pretty enthusiastic car people that have lots of cars. But on social media, more often than not, Koenigsegg seem to represent to me people just going, I'm so wealthy because I bought a Koenigsegg, rather than I'm going on a road trip in my Koenigsegg, look at me on this Great Canyon Road in my Koenigsegg. It's more like, look at me rock up to a car meet and open the doors in my Koenigsegg. So that's what annoyed me. But the guys at Octane Collection gave me a lot of pressure to experience, it's called the CCXR edition, the last ever manual Koenigsegg. And it was kind of pre all these ones that have become social media famous, Agueras and Regueras and whatever. So I went and had a go, and it was awesome. 1,000 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, manual. It was very cool, very muscle car-esque. I did really enjoy it. Still doesn't make me love the brand, but it made me respect some of the cars. And then Car Week, 2 days before my video went live, they unveil a new manual Koenigsegg.
Did they?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, come on. So I had to jump on. I was like re-downloading YouTube because I deleted it all from my phone during my holiday. I had to log on to YouTube Studio, which I really didn't want to do, and change the titles. And I was like, I'm not going to look at anything else. I don't want to think about work, but I just need to
change. I need to deal with this.
Yeah, because then all the comments were like, it's not the last manual Koenigsegg. They just released a new one. But whilst I know you care nothing about the car, and I don't really want to talk to you about that, I want to talk to you about its gearbox. Because did you see anything about the gearbox of this car?
No, nothing.
Okay, so by calling it a manual, it's not strictly correct. This is where every now and again Christian von Koenigsegg can be a genius.
How many pedals it got?
Well, it has 3. So you've got, I think it's a 6-speed manual. Hold on a second. Or maybe it's an 8-speed manual.
8-speed?
Yeah, hold on. Wait. Because God, I should always prepare and I never prepare. Okay, yes. 6-speed manual gearbox. But it has the ability to be a fully automatic.
Sequential?
Nope. You put the car into one of the slots in the gated manual and it's an automatic.
Oh, that's going to blow up.
I don't know if it will. It's like the single-geared Regera. Is it the Regera or the Yesco? Which one's got the single gear? I think it's the Regera. And everyone was like, that makes no sense. But apparently it does because people are out there enjoying them. And this was the thing that with
got 2 gearboxes then?
It's got 2, if not 3. So here we go. So to that end, the company highlights the new Engage Shift system, acclaimed world-first innovation that essentially changes the ratios of the 6-speed manual gearbox to offer differing performance characteristics according to the drive mode. It also has an automatic gearbox setting with 9 ratios for more relaxed driving.
9 ratios?
So you've basically got multiple gearboxes in one. You can drive it as a 6-speed manual, as was the original car that it's kind of celebrating because it's basically shaped like that.
4-wheel drive?
Or you could... No, rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel
drive.
So
you've got 2 gearboxes at the back?
And 1,300 horsepower. Yeah. I mean, I really probably need to sit down and listen to exactly how this all works. I'm not sure I saw enough content of people really explaining. I think maybe I am assuming JWW did a whole video on it, but it's such a baffling and new concept, this kind of multiple gearbox thing. I'm not sure anyone explained it very well because I did try and consume some content. Let me see if I can find anything else. But whilst we get our heads around it, what are your thoughts? Do you think that is... I know you hate the manual gearbox anyway, but could you see more manufacturers adopting this to offer... So Porsche, for example, rather than having to offer a manual or a PDK to someone like me, could you see them adopting something similar so I could drive my GT3 as a manual or a PDK depending on what I want?
Well, no. Because, I mean, it's going to cost a fortune for a start. I mean, to mass produce that. I'm not an engineer, but I do really understand how the bottom of a car works. And is it all in one casing or is it...
Here we go. Topgear.com. Based on the company's light-speed transmission, dubbed Engage Shift System, the relatively lightweight and compact unit, weighing just 90 kilos and about the same size as a regular 6-speed gearbox, features 3 sets of compound gears with 3 gears on each set, so 9 in total. It does without the traditional flywheel and clutch betwixt the engine and the box. But you don't want to have 9 forward gears, Koenigsegg explains. That would be way too confusing. 6 are forward motion, and we have 9 gears to choose from. We have different gear ratios in track mode than we do in normal and comfort. That's right, different ratios depending on which mode you select. Oh, this is so complicated. First gear in normal mode then starts off in the second of the 9 gears because first is super short in the 9-speed, while second gear is actually fourth.
So is it a double clutch system?
There's a sort of hydraulic link from the clutch pedal to the clutches. There are 6 clutches. When you move the clutch pedal, it's exactly 1-to-1 of pressure on these clutches like you use in a manual. Oh, mate, it's too much for me.
No, I'm gone. Yeah.
You're right. Very expensive. But I think for the enthusiast, it's an interesting suggestion, an interesting way of going about it, I suppose.
On your £5 million car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it does dial down, if Koenigsegg ends up being a bit of a leader in terms of, we haven't really seen any other cars adopt the single gearbox.
I wonder why.
Yeah. I'm trying to be polite and positive here.
Thought of it.
But let's see. Maybe they're groundbreakers or maybe they're just doing things for headlines.
Yeah.
But it's genius tech, the fact that they are offering it. Whether it works, how it's utilized, I don't know.
Yeah.
And with ever, let's wait until the car turns up on the road and people are driving it.
Some clever buggers thought of it.
It
must be clever, mate. I mean,
yeah, no, it's definitely clever, but well,
it's beyond me.
More crazy, pointless cars that none of us are ever going to want or buy. The Mclaren Solus GT.
No idea.
It was a Gran Turismo concept that McLaren went, let's build it. So clearly one of their customers went, oh, we look at that. Can you build me
with
one?
all their cars, though, just think of something, go, let's build it.
It's got a V10 in it.
That's an Audi engine, then.
No, I think it's an old F1 engine.
Oh, my God.
The Solus GT is powered by a 5.2 litre V10. Sounds like an Audi.
Sounds like an Audi.
Hold on a sec. Let's see. A Formula One inspired carbon fibre steering wheel is also present. All 25 units are already sold for £3 million a piece. Nothing more on the engine. So, yeah.
It's basically an Audi R8 with a McLaren body.
Yeah.
For £3 million quid.
Yeah, it seems very strange.
It seems really
Revs
expensive.
up to 10,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, moving on. So the list of cars continues. We had the Bentley Batteur, which was like the most powerful W12 Bentley ever.
I saw that.
Bit weird.
Yeah.
Bit big. Not really a,
Was that 1.2 million?
something stupid. All the money again.
Yeah.
Aston Martin DBR22, the
What's that?
rebodied Vantage Roadster thing, V12 Roadster, Speedster. Pointless again, all the money. Celebrating an old race car from
Not interested.
The Maserati MC20 Cielo or Cielo. It's the Spider, MC20 Spider. No one even realised it launched.
Nor did I.
It launched at Koenigsegg. I was like, I was doing my research today, trying to catch up and remind myself I think it launched. MC20 Cielo.
I bet that's quite a good looking car, that.
I bet it's beautiful. I bet it sounds awful.
Yeah.
And no one will buy it because same as the MC20, isn't it?
It's a bit harsh.
It's a bit true.
Yeah, you're
though,
right.
isn't it?
Yeah. That one's bought it, yeah.
Bit harsh, but a bit true. Like, I mean, I know production numbers are low, but you don't see those cars. I think Alexander sold theirs, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Alexander sold theirs.
Production numbers are low, mate, because no one's bought it.
Well, there we go. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's as beautiful as it is. I don't think it's a very desirable car. And taking the roof off, it sounds like a vacuum. It sounds worse than a McLaren, that car. So why are you taking the roof off?
That's a few quid as well, 200
all
odd
the money.
grand, yeah.
Another interesting roadster, V12 Vantage. They're now doing a roadster. So having said they would never put that engine in the car, they put it in the car and made a roadster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Aston Martin going through a weird time at the moment. They've been...
Just at the moment?
Yeah.
For the last 100 years?
Yeah, in future episodes, there's been a lot of sort of talk about, the new vision and all change, and the Valhalla finally got an unveiling, and,
Brilliant.
Yeah. Now, you wouldn't have seen much about this,
Huh?
but I wanted to just touch on it because I love it. The Myers Manx 2.0, the electric dune buggy thing. Did you see anything about this?
No, nothing.
So it's like an iconic. I'm going to get all my years wrong, and people are going to yell at me. But as we said at the start of the episode,
The
we don't know.
magic what?
Myers Manx. It was like an
Myers-Manx.
iconic dune buggy from California, I think, back in the 70s. Again, as I say, people are going to yell at me. And it was kind of like this kind of rocker, surfer. It was kind of like a really cool thing. People put huge engines in them, and you would take your surfboard and go down to the sand dunes. It was a really cool...
Like a hippie car?
thing. Yeah, a real hippie car.
Right.
Iconic from that era. If you saw imagery from it, you go, oh, all right, I think it was in Grand Theft Auto. Like, just a cool thing. And it's been coming back, and it's had a sort of bit of what's the word I'm thinking of? It's had when you breathe life into something.
A rebirth.
Thank you. It's had a bit of a rebirth. And they've now launched this electric version, Myers Manx 2.0. I think it looks amazing. And along the lines of a Twizy or something that's a bit of a silly car, you're not going to have it in London. If you did, you'd be a legend. But it's cool. And they've done, I think, very cleverly modernise an iconic old car to look great and have a more futuristic power plant. I think they've done a great job. I don't want to... There's no point in discussing it because you don't know what it is and you don't care and you're going to be rude. I just wanted to touch on it and bring all of our lovely audience's attention to it in case they missed it.
And me.
Now, we can either jump into the Purosangue at this point, the Ferrari, or we can touch on the new Mustang and the new Pagani.
Well, we touch on them and then we go to the Ferrari.
Okay. New Ford Mustang. Did you see the imagery?
No.
What have you been doing?
I've been on holiday, mate.
Okay. Really good looking. I'm going to bring it up on here now.
We bring it up for the viewers.
Of course.
Lovely.
So, just between you and I, in future weeks, I ordered the wrong cord for some reason. there'll be a screen. Do you see that screen there underneath the
I
camera?
can see it perfectly, thank you.
It's going to be linked up so I can bring up imagery there for you so you can see what I'm talking about more easily. That'll be good, won't it?
Very good, mate.
I thought I got it all set up, but I ordered the wrong cable. So next week, that will help you a lot.
It will help me a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So for now, let me just show you.
Well, most Mustangs look the same. So
no, but this one's a little bit more aggressive.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got a bit more of an angular front. Can you see that?
It looks the same. it looks exactly the same, but different front.
I really like that. I think it's great. And they've kept the big old V8. I think you can also get a 4-pot.
You could in the old car.
I think it's a newer EcoBoost. A slightly different 4-cylinder, I think.
Has it got a 320 speed gearbox?
9-speed automatic and manual.
10.
But no, I really like this. I think this is a super cool car. I've always liked the Mustang. If they've improved the interior, which we don't know yet because I don't think they released imagery, then that will be a big step forward. I know there's some
got one
shots.
in stock.
You got an old Mustang in stock.
21
mate,
plate.
The new interior is amazing. It's got like screens like the S-Class.
Oh,
I'm a big fan.
do you want it?
I do. I mean, there's no point in having that and an F-Type. It's a 2.3 litre
EcoBoost, same as the old car.
Oh, okay, so they haven't really done too much.
No.
Well,
They just put new screens in it. And what about the V8? Is that there? No V8?
Yeah, no, V8.
And a V8 as well?
V8, yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Oh, be 60 grand and more.
Not a fan of the new Pagani, though. Pagani Utopia.
No,
I was going to say a swear word there. I'm going to do it. Name. Ben, bleep that out, please.
But hold on a minute. It basically looks like a Huayra.
Yeah, sort of.
Because I saw
this is
pictures
the third Pagani now. So we have the Zonda, Icon, Huayra, Utopia.
Right.
864 horsepower, V12 manual. Really ugly, I think. It surprises me because in my mind, Paganis have always somewhat been beautiful, even though I'm not a big Huayra fan. A thing to look at, beautiful. Zonda, iconic. I've always thought as Horatio as the designer, Koenigsegg the engineer. This came along, I was like, what's happened?
Has it got that turbo engine in it still?
No, naturally aspirated V12. It's gone back to...
It's gone back to NA.
Yeah, NA manual, 1,200 or just under 1,300 kilos.
That's why it's not got that much power then. 800 something now ain't a lot for a hypercar.
No, 860 horsepower.
For a hypercar, it's not a lot.
Okay, you're right, because we just talked about something which had 1,400 horsepower. But, well, good. I'm glad it doesn't.
Going backwards.
The thing is, here we go, hold on a sec. This is a bit confusing. Fitted with where's the...
Oh, no.
Not naturally aspirated. It's the Huayra engine.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's the Huayra engine.
Just renamed it.
Yeah, sorry. God. I mean, you can tell not only are we out of practice, but we're back to our old ways of just knowing nothing that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a hypercar show this week. I mean,
people
I've got no interest in hypercars.
But people get so annoyed when we don't know our research. I was thinking the interior's boring.
Well, it's all the same, mate.
No, it's not. I think actually because traditionally the interiors have always been very intricate and over-designed and have these amazing elements. This one just looks a bit dull. I don't know. Like Pagani, I love you as a brand, but I feel like you've got this one a bit wrong, mate.
Yeah, you nailed the Zonda, though.
Nailed the Zonda.
So
Still
well done.
That. Okay. So we've moved on from hypercars. You say, got nothing to talk about. People message me incessantly asking us to talk about these cars.
Hypercars.
I agree. I don't have a lot of interest in them.
Nor do I.
I hope to be able to drive them at some point because, well, why not?
Big crash.
A lot of the information goes over my head slightly.
Yeah.
But people really do want us to discuss them. Okay. So
we'll keep going.
We did it. No, let's move on to something a bit more relevant to us, at least.
Something we can afford.
Because yes, I can't afford it. Can you afford it? The Ferrari SUV?
Of course.
Oh, you're so rich. The Ferrari. I'm going to call it the...
I'm not going to buy one, by the way, everyone.
The Purosangue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go for. Should we agree on that for now, for the rest of the podcast?
Whatever you like, mate. Yeah.
The Purosangue, we're going to call it the rest of the podcast. So, obviously, we knew this was coming. It's been rumoured and leaked and spied forever.
Forever.
I will come out and say, I think the final product is very good looking.
Me too.
Actually beautiful.
Yeah.
They nailed the final product.
But when a Ferrari's in general not beautiful... There'll be some shitters, but in general,
I'm still
like the
not convinced by the
stuff.
I could see you. I was trying to interject there because I could actually hear the cogs in your brain whirring. You're such a dick. But I don't think I'm still not convinced by the 296.
Well,
still not convinced by the 296.
Well, I'm getting one, so you can look up closer one.
You are buying cars left, right, and centre. I thought you were getting a Roma.
I am, yeah.
You're getting a 296 as well?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just spanking the cash. It's been a good summer for you.
This is podcast doing well.
Yes, and I'm getting an SF90. So the Purosangue, I think really good looking. Obviously, those early leaks which we saw a few months ago of the car in the factory, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's hideous."
Yeah.
As ever, obviously wasn't the finished product.
No.
So now we've seen the full V12 version. Absolutely glorious. They're reckoning 400k plus.
Joke. So it's 320 odd plus options.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 300.
Oh, I thought it was 390 plus options.
Oh, really?
I thought so.
Oh. I thought they were going to be about 400k done, spec.
No, I think that's the other engine, because we're still not certain, but we know that there's other engines coming.
Right.
Whether it's going to be the V6 from the 296.
That's correct.
A V8.
Can we say that?
Yeah, I think we can discuss it. We don't know.
Well, as far as I know,
here he is
that there is a 296 powertrain.
Yes.
And a V12, which is basically a 812 superfast engine detuned.
Right. I also heard that maybe it was going to be a variation of the V8 from the SF90, with or without hybrid power chain.
Oh, I think they're done with that V8 now. I think that's finished.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
So they launched it with the big V12, because I think that's Ferrari, right? It's Ferrari history. It's so important for that brand to have stuck a V12 in it.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's a very super limited run. The V12s, all the cars basically sold out.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and order a Purosangue, they say, "I'm so sorry, sir, but you can wait. There's another engine coming."
But hold on a minute. They are all sold out. But an 812 superfast was sold out when it was launched, and then it wasn't sold out. So let's just wait and see. Eh?
Okay. I was just going with rumours.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Whispers on the street.
Yeah.
Do you know Purosangue?
Yeah. I've got a few bad things to say about that car.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Go on, hit me with them.
From what I've seen, I mean, I absolutely, completely agree with you. It looks lovely outside. Mm-hmm. I do think as well now, especially with modern Ferraris, it will be colour dependent as well.
Yeah, spec dependent for sure.
Yeah, colour and spec dependent. I think the inside looks a bit cheap. Yeah.
I really like the inside. That was one of my favourite parts about it. I think the interior is really good looking.
No, I think it looks a bit plasticky and cheap. I don't think it will be anywhere near as plush inside as a German rival. Personally.
But did you see the weird what's called a computer generated photos, or did you see the physical photos at the launch events of the interior?
I don't know.
Because I hate those computer generated photos that Ferrari launched their cars. I think they're disgusting.
I saw a lot of photos. Okay. Full stop.
The physical car I think looks really plush. Think of a Lusso. Do you think a Lusso is cheap and not nice inside?
I just think in general, if Ferrari are good, and I get why you buy a Ferrari, it's not necessarily in general. If you're buying a supercar Ferrari, it isn't necessarily for the tech and the build inside, because you're buying it for the actual car. But when you start selling SUVs, you really do need to up your game, and I think the Germans are still way ahead of them in that department
for a luxury SUV.
Yeah,
you're not. But the smell of the Ferrari leather,
for sure. But look at a Lusso and then look at a Bentley. You know, like
yes, okay,
they are still miles off, and I don't think they've quite. Yeah, it's got them new screens in it, and looks a little bit. You know, the new SF90 and the 296, they do look better, but they're still, I think they're still miles off, mate.
Yeah, but I will go back to what you just said. You made the point very well yourself. It's not a luxury car in the sense it's an expensive car, but it's a sports car of sorts.
But it's an SUV, so it is a luxury car.
Yeah, so this is where there's probably a conflict of interest.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, you know, all other Ferraris, you know, I always think that the leathers, the materials, everything about it does feel very nice, very well put together, and the design of the new ones are good. When you're wading into this SUV market, do you expect more for 400k?
I think so, yeah.
Because are there any other SUV? What's a Cullinan? Is the only one price-wise that it rivals?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work out weight, so I've been tapping away.
I mean, Ferrari can ask what they want for their cars, by the way, because they always sell them, you know, so no problem. And I think they have taken the piss a little bit with the price of this car, but because they can.
Of course they can.
Ferrari. And they do really, really take the peas with the options with the you know, the option list and stuff. You know, when you
that's the thing. You know, you can start adding stuff. It's going to be ridiculously expensive. There'll be £500,000.
Yeah. I expect there will be. I expect you know, there'll be bits on them where you know, you pay like double. You know, like they give you a set of wheels standard, but then like with a BMW or an Audi, when you swap the wheels from factory, they'll take the original price of the wheels off. Whereas a Ferrari, they charge you twice, basically. And it's the same with the like livery stripes and stuff.
Oh my God, all of that stuff with painted or non-painted.
Yeah, so if you want a non-painted one and put your own stripe, you pay for 2 stripes.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah. But they get away with it. It's Ferrari. It's what it is, isn't it?
It is Ferrari. I'm just trying to compare it. I was tapping away on my laptop because I wanted to look at weight versus the Urus. Because for me, you know, it's all going to be about how this car drives or performs. It's a couple of 100 kilos lighter than the Urus.
Yeah, I thought it would be, yeah.
So a couple 100 kilos lighter. So, you know, it's going to be so interesting. It doesn't look massive. I think dimensions-wise, I'm just looking here. Again, it's a bit shorter. It's the same width as a Urus. It's a little bit lower, similar wheelbase. So it's a bit shorter. The body's a bit shorter and lower, but otherwise it's very similar. I think it's good looking. I mean, it's going to be such a rare product, the V12, because of its price.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see tons of them because I think every big Ferrari customer will go out and buy one.
I think they already have, mate. I think that's, you know, I think they've already bought them. I think that was the thing. I think. So
I guess the question will be is how much more, in inverted commas, affordable could a V6 or V8 version be? If this is a sort of 390 odd grand car, what's going to be
50 or 60 grand cheaper.
Yeah, they're not going to do 100 grand cheaper, are they? So it's always going to be. And I'm sure, as you say, Ferrari have done that because they can, but also it's definitely a decision, you know, an active decision to price this in a way that makes it this super exclusive product right at the top of their range.
Well, I mean, look at a Spect Lusso back in the day. Mm-hmm. If you really, really, really wanted to, you'd get one of them at 300. Yeah. If you wanted to back in the day. Yeah. So that was 5-6 years ago now. So things have moved on. It's Ferrari. As they always say, no one rivals our cars, which is why they never bother with Nürburgring times and stuff like that. They're not interested because they are what they are and they're the strongest car brand in the world. So why they don't need to justify anything, do they? So they sell everything.
Because we love them.
And we love them.
Well, I think that kind of... Oh, last question. Would you have one?
Not that money, no.
No.
I'd have an Urus.
Yeah.
Sure, it's 100 grand and more cheaper. And
would you have a Ferrari SUV? And like, would you have a Urus?
No. I wouldn't spend 250 grand on an SUV. No. Not you know, regardless to whether you can afford it, yes or no, because I just think at 100 grand, Range Rover or any of the other German products, I mean, how much better can they all be, you know? Like
on the road as a big SUV family car.
Supercar, no problem.
We'll talk about it next week, I'm sure, in a future episode. For example, Range Rover Sport, that new hybrid Sport I drove, plenty enough on the road. Plenty.
Of course, like most things.
Yeah, and that's 115 grand, so you're already a quarter of the price of it.
Which is still a joke, because the previous model car, when they come out in 2013, fully spec'd would have been very early 70s. So
we'll get into that, as I say, in a future episode. Yeah. I think that's brought us up to date with all the cars that launched. Like, I sort of feel like maybe we've missed some. There have been so many. There was that KTM thing that launched.
No idea.
No. So many. If you think that there are particular cars that we did miss out on that you were desperate for us to talk about, let us know.
We're so sorry.
We're so sorry. We do have a live episode coming up at the weekend, which we can't wait for. So we maybe have to include them then. But actually, what I want to do at that live episode is catch up with what we've been up to.
Yeah, we're not well. Are we?
As at the beginning, you've never been well.
No.
But yeah, definitely the live episode. We'll catch up and bring you all up to date with what we've been doing the last few weeks and some exciting developments for the weeks ahead. I am going to Perth in Australia, so any Australian listeners
now
get in touch. Not like after this episode, I'm off. No.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because sometimes I say, mate, I've got to go, I've got to get on a plane. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case.
No, but October, Perth, Australia, more on that to come soon. And we are still working on, looking very likely, a behind the glass trip to LA. California. So
Which
again,
will be cool.
US listeners, get in touch and stay tuned because we may have some very exciting announcements for you about that trip soon enough. That'll be a little bit later in the year as well. Anything else you want to touch on before we round up today's episode?
No.
Oh, great. Thanks. Thanks for turning up.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, as we said at the beginning, if you're watching here on YouTube, subscribe now, turn on notifications. We're trying to build our subscriber numbers once again. But yeah, make sure you don't miss future episodes. If you're listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcast player, leave us a review. We'd love that. A 5-star review if you want. Give us a 1-star review if you hate Tony. That's totally fine.
And send money.
And send money. Tony just wants your money. Otherwise, we'll be back with you for another episode next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.